Cool. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Dean Brennan's press conference ahead of our first National League game of the season against Chesterfield. We're joined by Jacob Ransom and Dan Bennett. Dan, if you want to start with some questions for Dean, please.
Yeah, sure. So obviously the eve of the new season, do you get nervous or is it just excitement at this point for what you might be able to achieve this season?
I think it's excitement, Dan. Obviously last year, very successful season. And this year, we're just delighted to be back playing. It's a pity our supporters won't be there to cheer us on, but we know they'll be all cheering us from their homes, watching the live feed we have. But I think the players are just excited. In training last night, the tempo was back to where it needs to be. Pre-season has been long, it's been frustrating. And I think everyone's just buzzing for tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, last season you decided to set a points total as like a target. Obviously, you wanted to achieve promotion and you managed to do that. Is that something that you're going to try and do again this season, or is it a bit different given that obviously you've been promoted and it's a little bit probably different aims this season?
Now we've set a points target. I'm one of them people. If you reach for the moon, you just might get the stars. And I think it's very important that we, set goals, individual goals for players, for them scoring goals, creating goals, clean sheets for defenders. All of them are targets that individual players want to achieve, and if everyone reaches their goals that we've set them, we'll have a very successful season. The team itself is set a points target, and obviously we're in unprecedented times. It's been crazy sort of pre-season. It's been frustrating. It's probably been the worst pre-season I've had as a manager in terms of results, but it's mainly the main thing is that the fourth game of the season tomorrow, we have everybody available fit, and most of them have had a full pre-season.
Yeah, I was just wondering if I could get, obviously you mentioned the no fans there, just your reaction, obviously, because there was going to be some fans in the clubhouse, but obviously now that's not going to happen. Everyone will have to watch from home. I mean, what do you kind of think of that decision, obviously, because like I was saying, people are obviously still allowed to go out to pubs and things like that. I mean, is it really fair on football fans that they're being sort of treated like they are in this way?
Look, I think the first thing is the health of the country is very important. I know a couple of people that have died from COVID-19, so you've got to be real about it as well. Comparing it to pubs and stuff like that, that can be frustrating at times. But for me, I just think common sense needs to prevail. We have to live with this virus, and it's as simple as that. And we have to learn how to live with it. And social distancing is so important, and we can do that within our stadiums. People have proved that already. So I'd like to see common sense. I'd love to see our supporters back. We made a fortress last year of the Vale, and our supporters were a massive part of that. So intimidating coming out of them gates, and our supporters are cheering us on. That's what the players are going to miss. That's what I'll miss. But we have to give our supporters something to cheer about at home. And the main thing for us is we can only concentrate on football. Let the politicians do what they have to do. But in my opinion, I just think common sense needs to prevail.
Obviously, it's the same for every team. Obviously, no team's going to have fans in the grounds, but obviously, like you said, it was a massive boost for you last season and getting promoted, having those home fans there, and especially obviously when you're a newly promoted team. I mean, how big a blow is that obviously you're not going to have the crowd there to push you on when you might need it?
Yeah, especially our crowd. They're so passionate, they're so loyal, and even what they've done with the share saver scheme, that has been unbelievable. We brought in nearly £50,000. Our supporters, it's unbelievable in these times to generate that amount of funds has been incredible, and we appreciate it. It's allowed us to go sign 4 or 5 players this week, which has helped strengthen our squad. And we are going to miss them, but we have to really dig deep. And every game, every point, every tackle, every pass, everything we do, we have to do for our supporters and our brilliant football club.
You've had a pretty active summer in terms of incomings. How much more business are you hoping to do? Are you hoping to get any in before tomorrow, or is it a case of trying that next week now?
No, we've signed 5. I don't know if the club have released it. We've signed Alex Dyer. We were waiting for international clearance. He's an ex-Wealdstone player. We've signed Cundoy Benyu, waiting for international clearance. His last club was Celtic, so I've got to get that from Scotland. We signed Charlie Wakefield. He was at Coventry last year. We've managed to sign Adele Grafete as well, which brings us good experience defensively. So we've signed some players this week. I think it's 5 in total we've brought in. So hopefully we can get the international clearance, and it just gives our squad strength and depth. That allows us to have 23 players in our squad. Ideally, we'd have 22, 2 goalkeepers, 20 outfield players. That's the perfect scenario. But when players like Alex Dyer, Cundoy Benyu, Jerome Slew, when they come available, we have to sign them because they're going to improve our squad. We've had to be really patient in the market. It's been a long summer. You know, I said before, we're picking up crumbs because of the financial situation we've got. We've got the lowest budget in the division by miles. So we've had to wait and wait and wait. And what we're doing with them players is giving them a platform to restart and re-kick their careers. They've all had in different seasons last year. And we did it the same last year. People like Billy Clifford and that, Dennon Lewis, they found themselves coming to a part-time club in Wealdstone, and it was a very successful season for us. So we've had to be patient. Ideally, we would have wanted them having full pre-seasons with us, but beggars can't be choosers in this situation.
Yeah, in terms of obviously tomorrow, it's quite a difficult start. Obviously, Chesterfield are quite a big club for this level. They've were in obviously League Two not too long ago. Bit of a disappointing season last year, but is it kind of going to be a show of how obviously strong the league is this year when you go and play Chesterfield, and what are you kind of expecting from that challenge?
I think the first 5 games are very tough for us. You know, they're all ex-league clubs and not League One clubs. Chesterfield, 20 odd years ago, were in the semi-final of the FA Cup. So they're a massive club. I come up against them for Billericay when I was manager there in the FA Cup fourth round a couple of years ago. So they're a good side. John's got them well drilled, very well organised. They've got a lot of experience. They're a very physical team. They've got a lot of height within their side. And they've got a lot of know-how. We're going to have to be at our best within this game to pick up the maximum 3 points. We've got a game plan, how we want to play. And I think we want to impact the level and how we play. Some days we're going to have to adapt, maybe sometimes play on the break. With our pace, we've got a lot of pace within our team. And we've got to make sure we minimise the fouls we give away, cheap free kicks, because they're very, very strong from entries. They've got a long throw. They've got a lot of set pieces. Like I said, they're very, very big side. So our message to our players will be make sure we don't give away cheap fouls.
How is the team looking in terms of injuries? Have you got a fully fit squad to choose from, or are you missing anyone?
Yeah, everyone's fully fit this week, which is brilliant. We did last Saturday, we had 6 or 7 on the treatment table. Optima, who's our new medical people, which is Gary Anderson, GA, he's done an unbelievable job this week. Nearly every night this week, the players that were injured have come in. So you've got to remember, we're part-time. So they've been in Monday night, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and now they're ready. They all trained last night, and now they're ready for selection on Saturday. So he's done an unbelievable job. This time last week, we had none of our back 4 available. So I really want to thank Optima and GA for the job he's done this week. So yeah, we're looking forward to it, and I think it's going to be a good game. It'll be a contrast in styles. We'll play more sort of front foot pace. They'll play more defensive, I feel, unless they throw a spanner in the works. But look, it's going to be a rude awakening to this level. If you're not on your game at this level, you're just not going to pick up points. It's as simple as that. And the game is about both boxes at the end of the day. As well as we can play, we've got to make sure we penetrate better than what we have in pre-season. And we've got to make sure we defend better than what we have in pre-season. So this is the real football. This is the mortgage football. And this is what pays the bill. So we've got to make sure we're on it.
Yeah, obviously we've seen clubs perhaps at a higher level get promoted and then go on and get promoted again and adapt really well to the level, obviously like Sheffield United and Bournemouth. But I'm just wondering at this level, how big do you think that jump is? Because obviously you're going from a league that is probably mostly part-time clubs and then up to a league now which is mostly full-time, and it seems like quite a big jump. I mean, what are your kind of thoughts on how to adapt?
I think it's the biggest jump compared to the Championship and the Premiership. You know, you've seen clubs like Lincoln under the Cowleys sort of win the National League, then get promoted in the second year in League Two, then do really well in League One. Them jumps, I think, are okay because it's full-time. All that's full-time. But we're us going part-time, training 2 nights a week, going up against probably 20, 21 clubs that are full-time, it's going to be difficult. The midweek games are going to be really difficult for us. And we've got plenty of them this season as well. So I think what we've got to do is enjoy it. You know, we've got a 23-man squad now, so we will do rotation on Sundays. And that's my job, to make sure I get selection right. I think last year, Woking, they were part-time last year. Their midweek games, I only think they picked up 1 point from their midweek games. They picked up nearly 55 points from the Saturday games. So we've decided to train on a Monday rather than last year training on a Tuesday, so we can get preparation for our Tuesday night midweek games. And I thank the players for the sacrifice they've made to do that. So some days it'll be 3-day weeks, some days it'll be 2-day weeks.
Brilliant. Yeah, that's all me done.
Cheers, Dan. Top man.
Thanks, mate.
Thanks, Dan. Jacob, you got any questions for Dean?
Yeah, so obviously going on to the new signings, obviously, that you touched on briefly. Jerome Slew, I suppose, a big signing, like you said, and although maybe not getting a full pre-season, he's got a head start in sort of knowing Charlie Hughes and Danny Parish and knowing how they play and linking up with them already.
Yeah, I think Slewy's different to them. All them lads are going to have to earn their stripes and get in the team. We've got people like Moses Emmanuel, Denham Lewis, Charlie Wakefield now. And Slewy's got a lot of pace. He wants to run off the shoulder. He wants to score goals. The same with Danny Parish. So it just gives us good options in that department. The majority of the time we play 3 up front. Sometimes we play 4 up front. The majority of the time we play 3 up front. So he's got to get himself into the team. And he gives us a good option.
Yeah, and I know when I spoke to you earlier in the week, you said there was a lot of injuries last week, and obviously since said they're all fit. That puts you in a really good position, doesn't it, for tomorrow with healthy competition, and probably gives you a little bit of a headache, per se. Yeah,
definitely have a headache on selection. What we probably will tend to do is look at the boys who have had full pre-seasons, and we'll probably select the team sort of that way. But we're going to have to expose the opposition for their weaknesses, because every team's got weaknesses. We have too. They'll try to expose us. So, like I said earlier, it's a contrast in styles. They're much more physical than us. We'll play with a lot of pace within our team. And I think it'll be a good game. It'll be a good game for the neutral. And hopefully we're on the right end of the result.
And obviously this season's probably a bit different to last year. Once you got the ball rolling, you were very much the favourites in a lot of games. This year you'll probably go into it as more of an underdog, and I suppose that can play into your advantage, really. Yeah,
I think what's important for our players at the end, the right to win football matches before we even do anything. We've got to earn the right to win games of football, and then they've got to do what they're good at. I always encourage people to do what they're good at. We haven't brought Charlie Wakefield in to make tackles. We brought him in to show us his speed, show us his dynamic play. The same as Slewy, go get goals. We ain't brought certain players have certain roles within the team. And it's my job to make sure they penetrate them roles. And so we just want people to do what they're good at. But before we do anything, we have to earn the right. It's old school, but it's the truth. All the best teams are the hardest working teams.
And obviously, in terms of Chesterfield, they've sort of come down from League Two and struggled the last 2 seasons in the National League, despite being a big club. I suppose that shows you how tough this league is as well. Yeah,
like I said earlier, it's a huge jump. Especially with part-time teams in it, you see a lot of teams come down. Stockport are a massive club, are in it. Wrexham, who we all have in the first 5 games. Dagenham have recruited really well. So on Chesterfield, so I think they've had issues off the pitch. They've had a change in ownership and stuff like that. So a lot has gone on at that football club. It's a big football club. Realistically, it's a League One football club, isn't it? Let's be honest. But this football is rootless. It's a rootless business. And if you're not on top of things like that can happen to your football club. We got to make sure we stay on the up. That's my job to do that on the pitch. And there's no reason why the calibre of our players, we can't do well this season and make an impact at the level. I'm not saying we're going to go win the division or anything like that, but we've got to be competitive. And we're looking forward. We've earned the right to be in the division, and we're really looking forward to it.
And I suppose, like you said, there are a lot of tough games straight off the bat, and it's almost Saturday, Tuesday for what feels like forever. So it's going to be an intense start.
Yeah, but we're looking forward to it. We're glad to be back playing football. Obviously, we haven't played a competitive game for nearly 7 months. So we're just delighted to be back. Ideally, we want to back with a fantastic, loyal and crazy supporters at times. They're so passionate. But we're going to make sure that we give them something to cheer about. And this is where we want to be. We want to be playing games. And full credit to the league getting the season started. Ideally with supporters, but we just want to get going now and playing for 3 points.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I suppose hopefully just in the long run, you'll be hoping that there can be supporters back in the ground at some point this season.
Yeah, we would, especially at our place. Let's be honest, it's not a National League stadium, our stadium, so we want to make that an intimidating place to go, and our supporters are great at doing that. They were so positive last year. Even there was some games where we probably weren't playing at our best. A lot of teams would come in and sit off us, and we'd have to break them down. They were patient with us. They got behind us, and they made a major difference to a lot of the results at home. We had a fantastic home record last year. So I'm hoping we don't miss that. I'm hoping we can pick up, as many points at home as possible. But I think you're always going to, if we're being real, we're definitely going to miss our supporters.
Perfect. That's brilliant from me, Dean. Thanks a lot.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Dan, do you have any more questions you have that you thought?
No, that was it for me. That's all I've got.
Brilliant. Well, thank you guys for attending the first press conference, and we will see you hopefully next week ahead of the Yeovil game on Tuesday.